Hey, everybody, I'm Rich G.
And I'm BJ Flagg, and this is episode 317 Fortified Bytes Cybersecurity on the Small Business Budget. This
Yeah,
is a good one,
this is a
Rich.
good one. Okay, we're not qualified. Okay, we're going to
Yeah, I
state
just
this
want to
right
say
out from the.
disclaimer. Disclaimer. We are not qualified. But I got to say, researching for this presentation, for this podcast, we learned a lot,
Yeah,
right?
it's we're going to show you some directional stuff, but if you're nervous at all, we'll recommend somebody. But you could hire a company to do this,
Yeah.
or you could put some just basic protections in place right now, and we're going to show you how.
Yeah. And, we have an incredible person right here located in Stamford, Connecticut, Vincent LaRocca. He's the CEO of Cybersec Op, and he is in Stamford and New York City on Broadway. And you can find him at cybersecop.com, and I'll spell that out for you. cybersecop.com. Great guy, really down to earth, but man, does he know his stuff.
Vincent is the consummate gentleman, and he's like one of those people that'll do anything for you. He's just such a nice guy. So,
He's like a bulldog when he finds out there's an issue.
oh,
So
absolutely.
he's your guy. He's your guy. So let me start it off. The basic, you got to start with just the basics. What are the basic cyber security hygiene that you need to, it's kind of time for you to implement a fundamental cybersecurity practices. And I'm going to run off a couple, and I'm sure you're in your mind, you're already starting to think of some, but a strong password policies. With a company like mine, we have to have a protocol for how do you set up a password, and then two-factor authentication. That's a hard one,
Authentication.
Rich. Thank you.
Authentication.
There you go. Regular software updates, many cyber attacks exploit basic vulnerabilities. So laying out a strong foundation can deter a significant amount of threats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
having one big thing I think that a lot of people forget is just the regular software update. There was just a software update on my iPhone because there were problems,
Right.
and I asked people, when was the last time you updated your phone? And they're like, oh, it's been years. Like, you're leaving
Oh
yourself
my
open,
God.
especially if you have financial information, lots of passwords.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, having strong password policies like not your name, not your birth date, not your kids' names and stuff like that.
Your dog.
Your
Your dog.
dog. Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
what we're doing this week is we're having the resources for each area because again, we're not that experienced, but we did a lot of research. So the book for basic cybersecurity hygiene is called Cybersecurity for Dummies by Joseph Steinberg. This is a great book to start out with. It's an accessible guide that breaks down complex cybersecurity concepts for the average business owner like BJ and I. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you had to go online, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, okay, we're getting a little nerdy on you, has a small business security corner. And I got to tell you, what a wealth of information. Fantastic stuff. Gets a little redundant with what Joseph wrote. But wow, so much good information for sure.
Cool. So our second action that you should do is employee training and awareness. Because if you talk to Vinny, you talk to
Mhm.
anybody else that knows cybersecurity, 9 times out of 10, it's your employees that let it in by some bad habits. So
Yeah.
some of the things to look at with employee training and awareness. Number one, many of the breaches occurred due to human error. So that means you, not only your people, but you. Okay. So you have regular training sessions, maybe on a quarterly or monthly basis, having awareness sessions and also ensure all staff members recognize and avoid potential threats, that they don't open unknown emails or click on executables in the email.
No. And, when you're thinking about it, this is, 101 stuff we're talking about. Yeah. This is just preventing the low level type of things that could be going on. Protocols are essential during this time when you're setting up things for, the employee handbook. Like, this is our non-negotiable, how we set things up. And if you do it that way, they know from the start that this is the way to do it. So I've got a great book for you. It's called The Human Element of Cybersecurity: How to Reduce Human Error and Prevent Cyber Attacks. It's by Tyler Cohen Wood, and the book offers fantastic insights into how human behavior influences cybersecurity and provides actionable solutions. I loved it. I thought it was a little deep.
Yeah. And for online, for something that's more recent, there is an agency, government agency, again, it's called CISA, CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And they have training resources there. So if you want to go a little bit deeper in employee training and awareness, these are the two tools that you could use to do that.
Right. And we know that just based on our audience, what our demographics are, we go from the one person shop up to like 50 to 100. So we understand that's a wide berth and your needs are all different. So we're trying to provide resources that could apply to, two different types of groups, really. So let me talk you down about cost-effective cyber security tools and solutions, because I think a lot of people will automatically say, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. You cannot afford a breach. You can't afford a breach. Hello? So look at exploring affordable cybersecurity tools tailored specifically for small businesses. There's a lot of open source solutions out there. There's scalable subscription-based programs, platforms. And there's also very cost-effective options that don't compromise on protection. So depending on if you're a PC shop or a Mac shop, there's just a lot that goes into it. And you really need to know your stuff. Let's look at some resources, Rich.
Yeah, for cost-effective cybersecurity tools and solutions, there's a great book. It's called Hacking for Dummies by Kevin Beaver, like Leave It to Beaver, Kevin Beaver. While not solely about defense, but it lets you understand offensive techniques that can inform defense strategies. So it allows you to set up things in your small business using open source solutions and scalable subscription-based platforms to protect your business. Think about all the things you have to protect in your business, your financials, your customer information. Maybe you have their social security numbers, you have their medical information, you have,
intellectual property.
Intellectual property. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so many things. If you're online, go to the Center of Internet Security's list of critical security controls, which offers us guidance on prioritizing the most important security actions. Let me give you that website. It's CIS. It's basically cisecurity.org. That, again, great for the nerds out there, but my goodness, did they have some great things. So when you're developing your protocol, you can put a couple of these things in place. Really well done.
And the last action you should take, number 4, is developing a cybersecurity response plan. BJ, we always end up with a plan somewhere in these things, but it's not a 50-page booklet that you shove into a drawer and never look at. This could be a 1 or 2-page plan, because the importance of being proactive with a well laid out response plan for potential breaches not only minimizes the damage, but also aids in rapid recovery, potentially saving costs in the long run. So it's so important because if something bad happens, everybody's running around like with their hair on fire. It's like, no, you've got a plan. We've got a plan. Let's stick to it. And I bet you if you talk to Vinny, he'd give you a plan.
Absolutely. And one of the big things Vinny talks about is having a person, kind of like the fire marshal, the person who you elect to do the drill. He always says, I need the guy. I need the one girl, the one person who is going to be my touch point. And I got to tell you, he's right. That is a fantastic thing. Pick a person who's totally into it and can really spearhead this initiative. Let me give you a resource that might be great for this. So you're trying to develop this plan. And this book, Cybersecurity Incident Response, How to Contain, Eradicate, and Recover from Incidents. It's by Eric C. Thompson, and it's a step-by-step guide for creating an effective response plan. I thought it was very well written, and a little dry, but it's okay. These are not supposed to be super exciting, but I thought he had done a super great job at it.
And online, there's the Federal Trade Commissions. We didn't think that FTC would have something.
What is that?
The Federal Trade Commission has a great guide on creating a cybersecurity plan for small businesses. So go to www.ftc.gov. Okay.
Yes.
And just search on cybersecurity plan for small business. And it'll be right there. So as you can see, all the online, they're all free and they're all government. They're all there for you.
And I also am going to give you a disclaimer. Don't go too far down the rabbit hole. Boom.
Yes.
Because, you go to these sites and there is so much information. So try to be as specific as you can with your searches. That is what I've got for you today.
Thank you for tuning in to the Best Small Business Show. If this episode has been valuable to you, subscribe and share it with other budding entrepreneurs who could benefit.
Well, that's it for this week. You can reach out to me at bj@newrenew.com, and you can find Rich at richg.com.
And thanks to our editor and producer, Richard Scalzo.
Have an unbelievable week and catch you later.